Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new age. YOUCAST is what we've decided on. And this is where we review Defiance. If you're not here for Defiance, you've come to the wrong place. That's all we review right now. Landon?
Well, some of them come for me, so...
I doubt that.
It's okay.
Landon, the title of the episode was The Devil in the Dark. Overall thoughts, what'd you think of it?
Interesting choice for a title name. Hellbugs, they were good.
Yeah, they were alright, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was okay, and we'll get right into that in a moment. You wanted to do a segment here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, we talked about doing segments last week, and this is going to be a little history segment. Basically some lore, just to give you guys an idea about Hellbugs this week. Hooray!
Hellbugs.
So, after doing a little bit of research on very profitable sites as of Wiki,
that's dependable.
It's hard, but like when I was reading like this stuff, it just sounded too legit. So, there's no way it can't be not real. To take out all the really big words and to put it into simple terms, Hellbugs originated from the same planet the Defiance originated from.
Yeah.
It doesn't talk about how they get to planet Earth. My guess is they brought them along as kind of like a Noah's Ark thing. But why would you want to bring Hellbugs? I mean,
I think it was more like how the Volge got here as well. They like someone just kept them aboard. They're like, oh, I'm gonna do something with these. Who knows? Yeah.
But as of this episode, the only Hellbugs we see are the Hellbug Warrior, which are the small little dudes.
Right.
And then you have the Hellbug Matriarch, which is the matron.
Big Mama.
Matriarch. It's the matriarch. Yeah, the matron's the king. Matriarch is the queen. She's the big mama one.
Right.
I was kind of sad not to see Hellbug Elite Warriors because they're a lot bigger and scarier. But the Warriors, just the small ones, they did their job this week. There's not a lot of detail on the Hellbugs besides the fact that often when they eat their prey to the bone. We didn't really see too much of that this week besides one scene.
Yeah, they kind of went over that.
But the funny thing is when they do their business, if you know what I mean, number two, they pass the bones as if they were intact, which probably would hurt, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's weird.
But they're capable of tunneling through the hardest earth materials. They're unable to live with. They're unable to live in water, but they need water to survive, which is kind of funny. They also like radiation places. So the fact of where we find them in this episode makes sense.
Right.
And it looks like, yeah, I'm curious, because it's saying that the Hellbugs, the nest is usually guarded by the monarchs, but I thought that what we saw was a matriarch, so I don't know a lot, but yeah, that's pretty much what we got on Hellbugs. Yeah. I was just curious where they came from and, you know how they originated and stuff, but we don't know how they got on Earth. My guess is Noah's Ark kind of thing. Your guess is smuggle.
Yeah, I think they were.
Who knows?
Smuggled.
Maybe we'll find out. But they did a pretty good, accurate job, TV show versus the game. But like I said, I know I gave them a lot of hype last week. You got to understand, we only saw 2 classes of the, well, technically 3, but you don't see a lot of them. They're just at the last scene where they're flying around.
Right.
Which are the flyers. But they are scary. And those, after seeing just what the little ones can do, wait till you see what the big ones can do.
Yeah, I really...
So that's all I got this week. Hopefully next week will be a little bit more, have a little bit more information for you. So that's all I got.
Yeah, my thing with the Hellbugs is it's like Tremors without the big body, is what it is. If none of you have ever seen Tremors, shame on you.
Well, they're a lot like Starship Trooper bugs.
Yeah, like a perfect mix of both of those animals, or whatever, monsters, whatever you may say. Alright, so the lore of Defiance. It's our brand new segment opening up this week. Now, one thing that we needed to go over is the news, basically. And there is no news. There's no news in a show like Defiance. The podcasts I listen to cover like wrestling and sports, and there's news in those things. There's no news in Defiance. Like Nolan didn't break his ankle, all that kind of stuff. Nor did he get a DUI. So we don't care about any other type of news. So the only news we really have is the rating.
Game. There is the game as well.
Okay, go ahead on the game real quick.
Only thing with news on gaming is we have some updates. So you can see a lot more updates coming up and that are coming out still. Obviously, because it is an MMO, there are going to be a lot of updates, but they're definitely working hard trying to make the game as smooth as possible, and they've done a lot of good work in the last couple of weeks to make that the game better. So you got to keep in mind when you're playing on a system that if you're not used to MMOs, all MMOs are like this. You know, they get better as they go, pretty much. So if you enjoy it now, you're going to enjoy it even more later on. So keep that in mind, but other than that, that's all the news there is with the game.
Boop, 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 boop. Okay, no more news. The news is over. Let's go straight to the rating of this episode. 2.29, so basically a 2.3.
Wow.
No, right? Yeah, 2.3. That's not bad, actually. That's okay. That's okay.
You also got to consider the people that are watching this illegally.
Well, yeah, you know, any watching of it is good watching of it. I watched it live only because I wanted to help its rating out.
Absolutely, and I would too, but my TV wasn't working, so I had to find other methods.
There's other things that go up against it as well. It's on a Monday where Dancing with the Stars is on, and I hate that show, and it steals all the ratings. The Following doesn't even get like a friendly, love tap.
I think those are two completely different types of shows, though.
It's terrible.
Like, I don't think they're... And, like, good for you. Like, I'm not against you guys if you guys do this, but, like, I don't think there's too many people that watch both those shows. Like, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe it's just, like, your personality. But as of, like, the interest and the enjoyment that Defiance brings you, it's completely different from the enjoyment and interest that Dancing with the Stars would bring you. So, completely different.
Yeah, so whoever was watching Bones when Defiance was on, forget you.
Oh, man.
I don't know what it is about Bones. I just don't like it. So, yeah, 2.29, again, on Sci-Fi Cable Network. That's awesome, especially what it was up against. So,
oh, yeah. I honestly thought it would drop lower. Like, when I was thinking about it, I'm like, oh, man.
I think the lowest still goes a 1.9.
Good for you guys.
It'll stick around to 2.0 area. The lowest it'll go is 1.9. If it goes below that, they'll cancel it and it'll be over. So, and if that's over, so is this mini podcast. So that's not good.
Watch the show on every Monday.
We'll find other shows. So yeah, that's really all we got for news and ratings. And should we get into the episode?
No, not yet, because there's one thing I need to make clear.
Okay.
Very important. This is probably the most important news I have brought to you. I have made a huge mistake.
Oh, no.
Mac the Sense-Off is not the same Sense-Off as Puppy Lover. Okay?
Oh, man.
After looking at the cast, Mac is your typical bodyguard. Okay? Not the same guy.
Yeah.
So I feel like a fool. Like, I would have loved if it was the same guy, but I guess the guy who is the Puppy Lover, his name is starts with an R. It's
not Rupert, is it?
Rhaegar. Rhaegar Dog Walker Sense-Off Smuggler is his name. Like his
weird.
role.
Okay.
So he's a smuggler, he's a dog walker, and
he's a smuggler.
He's a Sense-Off. I guess so.
Weird. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Now I'm interested. So did we ever I think we got a vote, didn't we, on the comments?
Yeah, we did actually get some votes. And guess what? Team Sense-Off totally killed your Team Bioman.
Yeah, we'll see about that next
week,
pal.
Uh-huh.
We'll talk about that later, but whatever. Whatever, I'm Team Bioman.
Oh, man. Hey, thanks again, guys, for voting. It means a lot. You guys can always, contribute, and we really appreciate it.
Yes. One thing I did actually want to say about the comments before we get into the show is that on YouTube, the first week we had super max views, like 700 and whatever views, and it was a 2-hour show. So we did pull in a couple people. Let's see, I believe one of the commenters was Rocks something. I don't want to get wrong, so I know it was Rocks something.
I have it right here. It is,
well, it'll be at the beginning of the show,
mention.
during the beginning, because she got the comment of the week.
Right. Her name is, actually, okay, so we had, it's in the second episode. So basically, you're just trying to say that we did pretty dang good our first week.
Yeah, we had a lot of views.
So
I actually think second week was better because I like interaction more than, I like quality more than quantity, if that makes sense.
All right, Roxanne Jasmer, thank you for contributing to the show.
Yes.
And for all the comments, you definitely had a lot of key points. There's too many, well, not that it's a bad thing. There's just you did put a couple of points, so it's hard to say which one was a comment of the week.
No, they're
one
all
I like
that's
is
the commenter of the week. She did put like 3 or 4 comments, but there's a YouTube cap. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
I do it all the time on other videos, so no worries. I understood your comments.
Right. One of the comments that she says is, or he, if you're a he, sorry, but I presume you're a girl, because Roxanne is more that way. Yeah. Anyways, comment. She goes on saying that my big hope, and I don't think that this is really will happen unless the show goes on for a few years, is that we will learn a lot more about the biology of each of the other races, the planets they evolved on, and what kind of atmosphere they need to breathe. How is it that everyone is comfortable with gaseous contents of Earth's atmosphere? I'm a science nerd. I think like this, and I absolutely agree with you. I understand, because it is sci-fi, they have to they could spend a good $3,000 to buy masks for all one race, but I think just due to smart reasons as well as they don't want it to be too alien. But at the same time, just enough alien where you're like, oh yeah, these guys are aliens, I forget. I understand completely where you're trying to go with this, Roxanne, but at the same time, I really enjoyed your comment. Just thinking about, she has a good point, and I'm really curious, what she has to say.
Right.
So that's all I have to say.
My thing on that point is, don't worry if the show doesn't give you that, we will with our lore of the week. Boo-doop, boop, boo-doop, boo. Segment.
Very true. Very true.
She's also the only one who voted in your little poll, and she chose Mac the Sensoth. So,
which is why we won.
So maybe we should just take away commenter of the week because Biomen are.
Well, we okay. Well, we also had a tweet with the Sensoth as well.
I'm kidding. Okay. So then we had a couple other commenters. We had a Landon. Okay. Oh no, that's you. Sorry. You again.
Yep,
okay.
Me.
Schulerman1 says they should have used the actual song by Nirvana instead of a stupid-ass cover. Really pissed me off, even though it was good with the scenes. I didn't even know it was a Nirvana song. I've heard a lot about this Kurt Cobain guy, but I'm like 20, so I really don't know who he is. So I'm actually going to start listening to some Nirvana stuff. I'm going to put that in my Pandora because that was actually a pretty good song.
I understand why they do covers. Like, it makes sense.
Less money.
Yeah, the original is good, but I do understand why they do covers. I actually like the cover, but
I thought it was alright.
Everyone
has
their own.
Well, yeah, he's probably like a Nirvana original. So, I mean, I would be angry if One Direction their song got covered by like Justin Bieber's Sons in 50 years. That would annoy me.
Yeah.
So, I understand.
Absolutely.
And then Ipjor. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not
sure.
He
returns.
Right.
Ipjor from last returns. Last week he was saying that we were a little bit, I guess was a little unexpositive
Right.
We talked about that.
The
but this
expository.
week, what he
Said, like the UCAST or UCAST idea, he was contemplating the spelling. Nice to see you guys are doing more episodes. Yes, because it's actually a show I care about, and no one else is reviewing it as well as I think we are. Well, there are a couple of other YouTubers who are doing a good job of reviewing it, but not as in-depth as this place.
And you're only getting, like, a little tiny slice of the cake, where we're trying to give you the whole cake.
Yeah, they go over it quick. Like, it's amazing. Some of them don't even know the aliens. It's atrocious.
Summaries, by far.
So...
But for some reason, I guess they, I don't know.
So that's...
We'll keep going, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it.
That's all we got for the comments. So, again, if you're listening to this, you now know that you post a comment, you're most likely going to get it read. There were so few comments that why not read them all? Why not?
Absolutely, and I actually really enjoyed reading the comments. Even some of them were a little bit
it's the best thing.
Negative in a way, but like it helps us realize, what we need to work on, and we will try to work on our pronunciation, for like the races and stuff, to make it a little bit easier. Especially how to pronunciate the names of.
That was my fault in episode
people.
1 because I could have looked at the Kasti, Tan, whatever things on the side of the thing. I could have looked at those, but it's more fun doing it my way, guessing without logic.
Absolutely, but
week 2 we shaped up.
I did lie, Roxanne. That was not my favorite comment. My favorite comment was actually how you went on saying that. How can you be the only one commenting here? And I'm absolutely with you. You go on saying, I listened to a crap load of Defiance, but out of all of them, yours is the one that really grabbed me. And I really appreciate that.
Thank you
we're not,
very much.
We're not trying to, be jerks about it, but, we are confused as well as you are, Roxanne, because we do really try to put forth the effort. And I understand, our first show was long. But we really do this for you guys, and if you guys have suggestions like Roxanne did, and all these other commenters, Ipshore and all them, definitely comment. It helps us.
All right, so there we go.
Let's. I think we've waddled around for too long. We need to jump in the episode.
Absolutely. Let's get right into it. So, the Devil in the Dark. Now, last week I did say it was going to be Hellbug Central as the thing, and this episode it was, but kind of, but not really. So let's just get to the opening scene. The very opening scene. Basically the murder of a human. He was taking a nice jog with an iPod. Old sneakers. It was very classic. I was like, oh wow, am I watching Defiance? Is this the same 20, 30 or whatever?
You want to know what's funny?
Go ahead.
I wear the shoes he wears.
That is
mine aren't
fine.
red, mine are black. But like when you pull those out, it's just like, whoa! Like this is a sci-fi world, and here this guy is, wearing the shoes he's wearing.
You know what's even more funny? I use those same headphones for my iPod.
Oh my god.
So
and, send a message to all the viewers. Maybe there's one UCAST that's out there that is the one that we need contributors.
Yeah, we connect to these characters.
That's right.
Landon with the shoes
fate,
and me with
people.
the headphones.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, this is his
he likes to
murder
run.
scene.
I don't like to run, but
So basically, this is his murder scene, and he's running through the woods, and you see like little trails of bushes chasing him. And what did you think of this? I immediately thought velociraptors.
Well, first of all, I thought he was going to get jumped by the Spirit Riders, because you see them, going
Right, I put that in the thing.
Towards Defiance.
Yeah, Irathiant or Irath or Rathiant in the area.
Right. The Spirit Riders go by, it's like, oh, that's cool. See him run through the forest, and all of a sudden, it's like, it's seriously like Velociraptor. What it actually reminded me of? Like, I've seen the movie once, but, it just hit me. There was the Narnia movie where there's the mouses and they're in the grass.
Oh, no.
And, yeah, like, I'm not a big fan of the
I didn't
series,
watch that
but,
movie.
I do remember that part. and these mouse, these mice, they're in the ground, and they're attacking, but you don't them, and they come, and I'm like, thing about hell bugs. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. To me, it just reminded me of the Velociraptors. I've never seen that movie, though. So yeah, basically his death scene as he gets dragged through the woods. Pretty good opening scene. A lot like a CSI type of episode is what I thought.
He was so young.
Yeah.
And his shoes were so red.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't care. I knew he was useless. Like, when I saw his face, I was like, oh, he gonna die. I don't recognize him.
Hey,
What was that?
I just said, he did.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So then we go to the scene number 2 after his death, after the opening scene, and we get Orisa training. And that was kind of cool, because she actually has got some moves. It reminds me of a lot of Darth Maul, and I'm starting to like Orisa.
In a way, I got the impression of martial arts, alien martial arts, because I guess, I don't know if you've put one and one together, but Aracians like knives.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, they all have the knives. It's even interesting, like, kind of, we've seen knives and, melee weapons and all of those. I don't know if it's, like, just armor or what, but, kind of like a Japanese samurai with his sword. Even though, like, guns and stuff are around at their time. It's interesting. I really like the idea that they, choose the old way,
Yeah.
But go ahead and continue. So she's
basically training.
But in a very cool fashion.
Right. And then she sees a butterfly on her hand, and I thought this was a real butterfly, and she was just admiring it.
I did too.
So that's just it's a real butterfly, and nothing's going wrong. So you really have no clue at this point. And then it kind of cuts to, let's see. Well, I'm gonna call him by what I called him in my notes, Top Hat, and the other Arathiant.
Okay, so for you people that actually like the lore of the series, what he's referring to is Rupert and the Spirit Riders.
Rupert and the Spirit Riders, the people who came to the rescue week 1. And
the antagonist in episode 1.
Sure, I call him Top Hat because why is his name Rupert? Why can't it be Top Hat?
I do like Top Hat.
I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny. I think that's what the show should have done. Just call him Top Hat. He always carries a top hat. Oh well, but Rupert and his gang come in. And we're seeing a little bit of a racist interaction here between the Arathiants and the rest of the Votans and humans in the city of Defiance. Still bad blood there.
Yep, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. So he basically tells his little group to go out and trade and then meet him back here when they're done. Now, is it me, or did it take days or a full day for them to be done trading? Just in the overall episode, like, was that a 24-hour type period?
No, it was 2 days because
2 days.
Day taxing, and the next day, so this day that we see them right now is day number 1.
Right.
And then day number 2 is where we end the episode.
Right.
I believe.
Okay. Okay, that's what I thought. I was just gonna say that's a hell of a long time to trade goods. And maybe they're just lazy and, they just kind of don't want to leave. Maybe.
Right.
So, yeah, that's good. And then we get Rin, right? Is her name, Rin.
Yeah, her name is Rin. She's the Arathiant with the scar over her eye.
Right, the one with the bad attitude.
Reminds me a lot of Ariza in a way.
Yes, I actually thought that they were sisters, but then we learned differently. But anyway, that was just my guess. So Rin is at a marketplace, and she's harassing this market guy. She just picks up a plum, or whatever it was, whatever it might have been, sniffs it, and, oh, this is nice.
Object.
Yeah, spherical edible object, and much like fruit, and she puts it back down, and he says, no, you touch it, you buy it. I don't want my my people getting sick or something like that. So
what did you think about the food the butcher was cutting? Like, did that look appealing to you? Like, it looked like weird tapeworms
I don't know.
that were magnified by 9 times. It was gross looking, but I don't know. Maybe they brought food with them that we like.
I'm not a germaphobe, so like it wouldn't have bothered me.
Yeah, it just looked really gross looking. It looked like pure fat.
Cook it, it'll be fine.
And that's when, yeah. But you have to keep in mind, during the scene, Arista's in the background observing.
Right, yeah, she's watching. She's making sure nothing goes down. And it's good to have her as a lawkeeper just to keep this type of control. So I do like...
Good to have her as a lawkeeper, because she's probably going to get herself into trouble anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good for both people. So yeah, the traitor gives Rin some pretty nasty comments, and Rin kind of, really doesn't appreciate this. I believe Top Hat came into the picture. There was about to be some hurting getting thrown around, and Arissa stops that.
Right. Yeah, supposedly the Raytheons brought a plague with them, or a disease, that killed the butcher's brother. And so he was pulling a racist card, not wanting to serve him.
Right. Would you have had, if you were the guy selling the food, not now your brother didn't die from the plague, but if you were just a guy serving the food, would you have a problem with that? Like, she just sniffed it?
I think it really depends on, like, the situation of what's going on, like, in the world. If there's known to be, like, a bunch of sicknesses going around, a lot of medicine, I would, try to, be like, hey, if you pick it up, you got to buy it. And if she's like, I don't want to buy it, then I'd be like, all right, well, this one's on me.
Okay.
Because he has a lot of fruit. Let's be honest. Fruit, like, is awesome, but it goes bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to sell it all.
Yeah, to me, if it were me, I would just say, okay, I'm going to sell that to my least favorite customer, and I'm just going to pick that one. That's what I would do. I mean, and even if it is diseased, it's not my problem, and if it's not,
well,
I don't have to worry about it.
Even thinking about, what happened to the Erathians when they were driven out, racist or prejudiced against any particular group,
right?
Like, even in our society. After seeing that happen, kind of pity them in a way.
Yeah.
Give it just to them for free. Like, I'm sorry, this is my way of saying sorry. It's not much, but
I wouldn't have given it to them free.
Know that right.
They are bandits. They've got a lot of money.
Good standing between them, sure.
So yeah.
So and things are about to go down, and Riz throws a knife and purposely misses it, saying the next knife will meet the butcher's eye if he doesn't let go of Rin. And the leader, Rupert's there the whole time, just watching what Riz is going to do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool seeing her throw a knife. I've always wanted to throw a knife like that. So it's good, and I like Arissa a little more. And then they get called away from that, and they're to the murder scene now. And Arissa again sees the butterfly, and this is where I'm like, oh, creepy. Oh no, actually, we didn't get to see. Hold on. Back in the past scene, Arissa sees a vision of blood on Rin's face, and that's when you're like, ooh,
scar,
creepy.
Like where it actually. Yeah, it's like when it happened.
Yeah.
So it's almost like she got cut, and then, like she blinks, and then the scar is there now. It's, healed, and the scar is now covering the face.
Yeah, it was weird. I was still confused.
I was confused, too.
Alright, so now we're at the murder scene. She sees the butterfly again, and now I'm like, what is with that butterfly? That's weird, okay. And we learn here some information from the Hellbug situation from Nolan. He says Hellbugs suck bone marrow out of the bones.
Right, and we learned that in our lore segment, that
Excellent.
They eat to the bone. And you see that. I mean, this guy is pretty messed up. He is gone.
Yeah, it was...
They don't even know what gender he is until Arissa says, go look behind that tree and you'll find out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this guy, his like, intestines are, like, hanging from a tree. Like, they destroyed him.
Yeah. Now, while this is going on, Top Hat, or Rupert, is meeting with Mayor Amanda in the mayor's office, and he's looking at a lot of the heirlooms from like day tax people and the Sensoth and all those other things, but there is nothing of the Erathiant. I can't say that word.
I
this
actually
week.
like started, Erathians.
Erathiant.
And that's like when I had the same thought that the mayor quickly, says, "Oh well, if you guys want to contribute something, I'd be more than happy to put it in the case."
Yeah.
Obviously they didn't have anything to represent the Erathians due to, killing them off.
Yeah, and if they were the enemy of the town, you really don't want anything glorifying their presence. So like, it's understandable, but now with Mayor Amanda trying to change the civilization, Defiance that they're living in, I think it would be nice to have his top hat in there.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of nice. I don't know. Like, what are they going to put in there?
Wait, did you say top hat? I
Yeah.
think that top hat is human-made, so I don't think that's a Raytheon.
Not anymore. They stole it. It's theirs now. I like
Are
it
the
much
dirt
better.
bikes there too?
So, and that scene was actually kind of telling, and it might lead into the future, but we get a little bit of a snippet of Top Hat telling Amanda that she's up for re-election, which I think that's going to be an episode.
Yeah, it's me. Like, didn't she just get elected? Or, was she,
it could be a president thing where if the person who quits, you're just the assistant, you just automatically get it. That could have happened. Maybe the townspeople just called for it because she's being so crazy. Who knows? So, hopefully that's an episode, because that was kind of confusing.
I don't see her going anywhere.
Yeah. And then we get maybe the strangest scene. I watch professional wrestling. I watch Game of Thrones. I've seen a lot of weird, uncomfortable scenes. I've never seen one as uncomfortable as this.
I was really shocked how dirty this scene was.
Yeah. It was weird.
Like, it had a point to it, but it's just like, a lot of it was like, wow.
It was Rihanna S&M.
No.
Yes, it was.
It's not.
Yeah, she poured, was it wax? What was it? She
like,
poured
some sort of food juice,
hot
like
molten juice stuff, and was gonna lick it off of his body. It was weird. It was creepy.
Yeah.
And then there was grinding, and he was yelling, and I was like looking in the hallway.
She looks over at the clock like, oh, he's about done. My no is almost done. She obviously wasn't into it. She's doing it for the job. But
I was so creeped out by this scene, but thankfully it ends quite quick. I've turned the volume down. I was like, oh my god, like it was on full blast because I want that full experience. I didn't want that experience. No thanks. But anyway, so yeah, and then you just see something bore out of his chest. I say bore because it was like a drill coming out from the earth, like Team Rocket in Pokemon. Like, whenever they would drill out from the earth, that's what it looked like. It was a really uncomfortable scene, and we figure out it's
shaped mouth.
Yeah, and we figure out that it was another hell bug, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? That's fine. I don't like hell bugs.
Yeah, they're gross.
Hell bugs ruin sex. Yeah, so there you go.
Okay, yeah.
PSA.
That's like okay. Yeah. What we learn in this scene is even the safe words that that make the people stop when you're doing those painful things won't save you.
Yeah.
The
safe word did not save him.
Like stop, and he dies.
Okay, so you go ahead over the next scene, because all I put down was Hellbugs, Orisa having visions, Nolan talks. I don't remember that.
Absolutely. Oh, and that scene with the
I do remember
was in
that,
our
but go ahead.
brothel, and that was between Kenya and some random guy who is the mayor's sister. Next scene we have as the murder scene of where it just transpired. Orisa is still seeing stuff. At first, I thought it was like some sort of, if you've ever seen like the Dead Zone, I saw a couple episodes of that, like where like you could see like what happened, if she's like in the environment.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess we'll find out what she was seeing eventually.
Right.
But in this, Nolan is there with the mayor as well as Arissa,
Right.
and Kenya, who is the sisters of the mayor,
Rihanna.
and the owner of the owner of the brothel. She is just sitting there in her robe while they're trying to figure out what's going on. Where this is the only person I cannot remember her name. Our Indochine woman.
I don't remember her name. I call her Dr.
Doc
Lady.
Yule. Doc Yule. It's Yewll. I'm going to say it's Yule. My apologies. I know
Yule.
pronunciation was
that
one of our
sounds right.
fixes, but hopefully that's what it is. Doc Yule, she says in Latin, the term of what the animal attack was, and that's when Nolan, confirms hell bugs. And then notices that Arissa is having these weird visions, and he's aware of these visions. It's nothing new to him. He thinks that it's some sort of post-traumatic stress.
Obviously.
And yeah, humans being humans.
Yeah.
Telling her that what you're seeing isn't real. You're fine. It's okay.
It reminded me of an asthma attack off of a Mel Gibson movie. What one is that?
Okay.
The alien one. The good one.
I don't know. The Signs?
Signs, yeah. When he's having the asthma attack and he's like, just breathe. You'll be fine. Breathe.
Yeah, just breathe.
That's what it was.
That's a good comparison. But this is where they find out that there's a murderer.
Right.
Because they're actually planting pheromones to attract the hellbugs. And that kind of made me mad, in a way, because now hellbugs are more buggy. Like, in the game, playing against hellbugs and stuff, like, they were more monstery to me. But, knowing, like, ants, they have pheromones and stuff. They have a queen.
Right.
Hellbugs are a lot like ants.
Yeah.
A lot like ants. But, bigger, obviously. And that's actually where we end our scene. Nolan, comforting Arissa.
Right.
Even though, she doesn't seem to, convinced that, it's nothing.
Well, she never seems too happy, so.
She's a teenager. What are you going to get?
Okay, so.
But that brings us to probably your next favorite scene, if I'm correct.
This actually was my favorite, not scene, but group of scenes of the
I really
show.
like this next scene as well. Yeah, this was a great one.
So we get Christy cooking dinner for Daytak and his family, Alec and, oh no, I've forgotten her name.
Tama.
Who?
Tama?
Tama?
Tama.
Stama, there we go. I thought it was either Sama or Tama. S and T together. So yeah.
And I just want to throw in there, whatever that alien dish was she made, it looked yummy. I would have ate it.
It looked yummy. I would have eaten anything, sure. Yeah, if it smells good, it most likely tastes good. If it looks good, it'll taste good. So.
Right.
So yeah, so she's cooking dinner, and I didn't write down everything they said.
It's a Castian tradition.
Yeah.
Like not tradition.
That's what I wrote down. A Castathan traditional food.
Right. The women usually, I guess, make the food. I guess.
Right.
I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything, but I guess that's just their race. So, that's kind of typical in even, our race. Usually, women are a lot more cooks than most often. But that she's probably trying to, culture and, appease them.
Right.
And for good reasons.
Yeah. So she's cooking dinner, trying to, I guess, build bondings with these Castathans, and it's hilarious because, this says Alex, but I'm sure it's Alec.
Or after complimenting what happened.
Right, yeah, so, this is so good. So, Daytak has, now, did you write all of these down?
What do you mean?
Like word for word, because it would be a shame if I didn't.
The words, like what they say.
Like exactly what he said, because it's almost a shame that I didn't.
He basically says I didn't write it word for word. He goes on saying that the food tastes after taking a nibble off the plate, it tastes wonderful. She has done a really good job.
Right.
And then he goes on saying in Castian language
Castathan.
that it tastes Castathan, it tastes like a wet otter or something. Like, I don't know. It's funny though. He obviously was lying, and the food wasn't very good. It looks good, in my opinion, but
Right, she
I don't
didn't.
know. I guess after saying that it was a hard dish to make, that's being Daytech. It's not, I guess it's not a very easy dish to make. He says, "Oh, you did such a good job." Then said in his language, "It sucks," pretty much.
Yeah. It was a lot like Game of Thrones the other week, where you don't think that she knows the language, but she really does, and Daytech
Yeah.
didn't know that, and he doesn't care. He goes, "Oh, oops," because Alec just goes, she's learning Castathan,
No,
right?
he doesn't say, "Oh, oops." He just says, "Oh, that's unfortunate."
Yeah, yes, he did say, he's like, "Oh, that's unfortunate," and then him and Stama get into a fight type thing where he goes,
Well,
"She
that's
won't
because
even bath
time out.
with."
Time out.
Go ahead.
Christy has been learning Caspian.
Right.
Caspian, which is, that's where she storms out. Well, doesn't storm out. She's hurt. She being complimented and she's failed.
Right.
Obviously she's gonna leave, and that's when Alec chases after her. Oh yeah, she's definitely trying to learn our culture, and she's good job, Dad.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's unfortunate.
Embarrassing father stuff, and it was funny how he took it. He didn't really care, and then he starts saying she won't even bath with someone else with her. How strange. And it's good because you get a little more into why they're always with people when they're bathing. So it was really good. I really did enjoy that scene. It was probably the best scene of that show.
It's a continuing scene.
Right, yeah.
Because, we find in the next scene that, they're still in the house, and that's when Christy is out there, and Alec goes to comfort her, and we see the Hellbug come out of the ground, which I wasn't impressed in the very first appearance of the Hellbug. Like, the CGI.
Oh dear. Hello? I'm sure he says that the CGI was okay. I thought it was fine. The Hellbugs didn't look bad to me.
Yeah.
There you are, you're back.
Yeah, I guess you've been having problems with your internet.
Have no idea.
Yeah.
Comcast.
My apologies. We're trying.
So...
But, yeah, the Hellbug comes and, Alex picks up a torch pole thing.
It is a charge
fight
blade.
It off. Well, no, that's Daytech.
What were you talking about? Pole thing.
Alec picks up a pole.
like a tiki torch is what he had. Yeah.
Pretty much. And that's Daytech's like, oh, step aside, get out of there. And he pulls out his knife, and I'm like, oh, come on. The knife.
Oh, it was so cool.
Hellbug, come on.
I want to break in here.
Somehow his knife turned into a short blade.
I want to break in here because right here, what I'm doing now, you'll probably see this later when you watch the video of it, but it says, did you notice the way Daytech flicks his charged blade to extend it? Charged blades were initially developed by the Indigenes as surgical tools, but they were appropriated by the Castathans, who appreciate the elegance of a blade.
It's like Mafia with a baseball bat.
Yes,
it was. What they can, or
it is a cool pick. So it's Daytech versus Hellbug, and this is where I'm actually excited to watch.
Hellbug. 2 or 3.
Yeah, it was 2 Hellbugs, I think, officially.
2 Hellbugs.
Yeah.
And these are Hellbug warriors. These are the smallest of the bunch. They're the most typical. They're like the babies. Which eventually, a warrior versus an elite warrior, the only difference really is the size. Imagine a warrior being 4 bigger than that, but that's about it. So.
Yeah, it was a cool scene, and they show him I think he killed, or no, I think he only chopped off the leg or something of one of them, and then he kills another one, and then it just kind of cuts to black. Oh, is he dead?
He just went bad A on them.
And I know he was gonna win.
Well, yeah, you can't kill off Daytech.
Yeah, of course not. So So now we go to the next scene. Well, actually, did it... Oh, no, yeah. The end of that scene is basically
We
they're all
walked
outside.
out,
They're all outside
and
being
Alex is wanting to
scared.
go back.
Yeah, sure, but...
Alex is wanting to go back. He's like, oh, no, I can't leave.
Yeah, kind of like annoying child stuff. Like, just shut up. Know your place. He's the warrior. You love that human girl. That's what you do. That's what you do. And then, yeah, Daytak comes out. He wins, and that's it. So now we're at the Macaulay home, and Nolan is questioning Rafe here during this scene.
Before we go to it, did you see Rafe's expression the first time we see him? Like the way he just looks, like it's hilarious. I laughed. It was awesome.
Yeah,
and especially like when Daytak and Alex show up. You know, Christy walks in, and then the car walking out, just like like concerned face to like what is going on face.
Yeah, it was
like
Romeo and Juliet's father and whatever mother. Like, look, it was a good scene, and that dynamic is gonna continue throughout this whole series.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we learn that with Nolan questioning Rafe, we learn that the two people who have died have a connection with Rafe Macaulay, because there was a property deal, and it seems that the two people who died might not have gotten that property deal through legal means. And it's not really Macaulay's fault, but as a precaution. And obviously, a right precaution, they try to protect Christy, and they make her shower, because she didn't want to when Daytak wanted her to. So Daytak's the hero.
The way Nolan puts it, too, is kind of funny. Like, because she's, like, kind of creeped out by, like, how he does it, but at the same time, she's like, what do you mean? Like, why do I need to shower? Like, the way he says it. And he's like, you better scrub those, hon, or something. Like, I don't know how he said it.
He said
like,
scrub every inch of your body.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what he said.
And then you get that look from Rafe, like, did you really just say that to my daughter?
Yeah.
And he's like, you obviously just had someone try to kill you.
We learn that
Don't flatter yourself.
We learn that the name of this property is the West Valley, which I'm excited, because I live in West Valley. Fancy that. I was marking out.
Nothing good happens in West Valley, Derek.
I know. I was freaking out. I was, like, jumping up and down. I'm like, oh my god, West Valley, West Valley, West Valley. So, that's what really picked me up on that scene, and then we find out Arissa ran away, and we presume it's to the West Valley, whatever, which it was.
Right.
And she gets a mental...
She can't stay away from trouble.
Right, and she has a mental breakdown again, and Nolan has to comfort her and, calm her down, and she's holding glass, and it's cutting her hand, and that made me more uncomfortable. I don't like cuts. That happened, and she eventually calms down. I was kind of scared for a moment she was gonna, like, slit his throat. The other thing I was scared about was that I thought that her and Rin were sisters.
A laurel. Did you see that?
A what?
Before she breaks down, she's making, like, a laurel, like a vine crown looking thing, like made out of, like, weeds and stuff.
Well, that's probably what the little girl was doing.
Okay, so she was just, like, role playing.
Yeah, that's why the butterfly is there, because all these flashbacks.
That's like
That's why she has glass in her hand.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very strange. So basically, we get Top Hat in, and Top Hat figures out that she's touched or she's special. She's basically a psychic of her kind, and the
gods have touched her.
Right, and they figure out that Rin is the killer. And they question where Top Hat, where's Rin, and, he doesn't know anything, and he doesn't care, because he doesn't want to throw Rin under the bus. So are they a thing? Were they a thing? I think they were.
Who, Rin and Top Hat?
Yeah.
No, I think it's more of a...
Are you sure?
Nolan and Arissa relationship. I honestly think so.
That's interesting. Alright. And then we get this crazy Arathian ceremony, and it's where you get high, and you cover yourself in blood. It was really Native American type thing. Native American type smokehouse type thing.
I'm pretty sure they were just smoking hookah. That's all that I got from it.
I don't know what hookah is.
Hookah is that it's like a pipe thing
Right.
that you can like smoke fermented fruit with or fragrances. It's not illegal or anything. Like,
Well, I know
but
there's
it's just,
hookah
like,
bars.
pretty much
I've heard
like
that.
that like rubber pipe thing with
Yeah.
the thing that she was getting to smoke through. That is a hookah. It was legit.
Weird. Okay, so just okay. Fruit taste. Let's PSA. Fruit tastes better not fermented. Fermented means
Yeah.
it's decaying. Just saying that. Okay. Rin's history and location are discovered. So yeah, so we figure out that her visions are not of her history, which is kind of what I thought. I figured that her and Rin were sisters, and and the two guys that were murdered were the two guys that Nolan saved her from, and Rin died, but Arissa didn't know it. But then it just didn't make sense. So my theory was out the window at this point, and we figure out that it was just
My theory
Rin's
that
history.
it was her past.
Yeah,
And I was wrong as well.
it could be racist as well. I mean, orange hair, same funny looking symbol. Like, you
Well,
know.
no. Well, they just have similarities. It's not racist. It's an observation.
Okay. So we get her history, and this is the whole scene of that whole history, right?
Right.
Yes, it is, because I'm at the end of my notes. So basically, her history is she lived on West Valley, the West Valley land, and her mother. Go ahead.
We missed her. She has her vision thing.
Yeah.
No one really wants her to go see a doctor because he thinks she's having seizures.
Oh, right. Yeah, there is a good scene there.
Ezra wants to go see and the spirit rider leader Rupert. Let's see. She's determined that she knows what's going on, and she's starting to believe about being touched before.
Right.
And that's when we do that ritual thing with the hookah stuff. And then she sees a vision at Jula's farm, is what it's called.
Oh, I see.
And that's where Taggart and Bowen, the guys that died, did their dirty work, and you can talk about that.
Okay. And we get, so basically her history is that the two scumbags, who weren't scumbags before, but then they're scumbags now, because they have basically taken this poor Arathian family and said, no, this is going to be our land, and we're going to slit your throat, and we're going to kill you, and the daughter runs away under a carriage, and they can't get to her, and she escapes, and so that's how they obtained the land that they sold to Rafe McCauley. They were scumbag people, they deserved to die. Not sure why Christy was targeted, maybe just to send a message to Rafe, but, I mean, come on. Rafe really didn't know, did he? I don't know.
I just think they had to fit him in the episode somehow.
Yeah, I'm still confused with Rafe and Daytak, actually, because both of them do noble and honorable things. Both of them do kind of scumbaggy things.
Very similar.
Yeah, it's strange. Then we get to the last scene, and this is Nolan. Well, this is my last scene. I really condensed this last scene.
There's a scene where she comes out of the vision, and the only reason I bring this up is because Riza embraces the leader, Rupert.
Right.
And did you get any message from Nolan's face? He either looked impatient or bugged, what was going on.
Well, he's definitely bugged. He definitely does not like this. It's like Daddy's little girl kind of being taken away. I don't know. So, now we get Nolan and Arissa arguing, and this probably would have been my second favorite scene, because this is where Arissa is kind of pushing away from her father, and this is basically what happens in real life with children and their parents. That you'll just say, I don't need your help, leave me alone, all this type of stuff, just because you're an annoying teenager. And this is kind of that stage.
He's really mad that he brings up post-traumatic stress.
Right.
I thought it was post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
Exactly. I mean, you can't blame Nolan for that. He's human. you're a different thing. Whatever. So then we get this, basically the last scene here, where Top Hat, Tommy, Nolan, and Arissa are going down into the mines. And
I really am glad that they brought Rupert.
Me too, because he's just hilarious. And Tommy, he would have been a terrible third wheel. Yeah, so I'm glad Rupert had someone there to say, yeah, I'm here too. So it was good. It's even numbers. I liked it. Like, who else were they going to bring? The mayor? I don't think so. Who else would they bring?
I guess you could bring Macaulay, but
No, like, look how that turned out last
because
time.
it's his mind. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and his little girl
But they
just,
were
like,
in
got
his mind,
threatened.
right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of strange how...
Because, like, they just get to, like, I don't know. How did they find that location? I didn't connect that.
Well, she figured it out through the whatever.
Right.
She
like,
just said, I know where she is.
That's
all
okay.
she said.
Okay, but what I mean is, he like, is it Macaulay's mine, or is it just a mine?
I'm pretty sure it's Macaulay's mine. But a part that hasn't been used in a while, I guess. I don't know. No idea. There's not too many details there. We just figure out where she is.
Serious?
So they stop halfway down, and then the doors open, and they're like, oh, look, it's hellbug poop. And we're going to cover ourselves in this, and they won't see us.
No, he says Stocko. And
Stocko, right, yeah.
This time.
Well, I actually don't mind Stocko. I'm annoyed with Fack. Stocko, I don't mind. I like it. It's like taco, like it's funny. But anyway, I like Stocko. I don't like Fack. Frack. Sorry, Battlestar Galactica nerds angering me. Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna get terrible. It's not Fack. So yeah.
Okay.
So we're down into the very bottom part here, and this is Welcome to Hellbug City. Like I said last week, this is the scene that they kind of spoiled to us last week, and I'm with this episode going the way it was, I'm very interested to know why they chose the ending of this scene. Because last week, I knew Top Hat was going into the mine. Because they showed that. They showed him in the gear. They showed him, Nolan, Tommy, and Arissa in the gear, actually going into the mine. So, why would they show that scene? Why wouldn't they show the guy getting murdered, and then there's a murder in the town, and then some other scenes? I don't know, so I was confused. So I don't know what they're thinking with those scenes, and we'll get to that in a minute with what they're going to show next week. So basically, the elevator breaks down, and they fall quite a while to the very bottom. It's Hellbug City, and I've seen Mythbusters.
I was actually shocked how they weren't really even hurt.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter.
We've seen Mythbusters.
Realize, it's like a car accident. Like, no matter how fast you're moving, like even in a box, okay, an elevator. When you hit that ground, your momentum is still going.
Yeah.
You would break some legs easily.
Right. Yeah. So it's. Oh, we got a little fact here. The little hellbugs are called skitterlings. They are essentially babies.
They're warrior bugs. They're the warrior bugs. They're the skitterlings.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just filtering through pictures here. Sorry.
No, for sure.
So the elevator's down, and then they do it the smart way, the military way. All right, elevator's broke. You fix it. Me and Arissa are gonna plant bombs. You try to find Rin and talk her down. All this like military stuff is going on, and then this scene kind of ends abruptly. I thought they would spend more time here in Hellbug City.
Yeah, I thought they would.
It was a little short-lived.
I thought there would be more than one scene.
Yeah, it was kind of strange because immediately Top Hat gets shot. Top Hat gets shot by Rin. Not sure why, but why would she shoot Top Hat? But we get a little bit of an explanation later, and we'll go into that. But Top Hat shoots Rin. Arissa tries to talk her down. Everyone's like, okay, Rin's got a gun. We're not going to mess around. Calm down.
Oh, she crazy.
And then Rin, like, it's talked down. It's a lot like, what movie is that? I used to make fun of it
every movie?
All the time, where someone's like, okay. Oh, it was, Rob Zombie made a Devil's something.
Sure.
Did you ever see that movie? Made by Rob Zombie? The Devil's Rejects.
Okay.
Okay, so it was hilarious. There's a girl in that movie, She's got a knife behind her back, and then the victim, who they've raped, is standing there with a gun pointed at her, and she's like, oh, calm down, I'm not gonna hurt you. And then she just goes crazy and throws a knife at her. And that's exactly what happens here. Rin gets knifed by Arissa, and then I thought Rin was dead. This show has an issue with killing off bad guys, I find. Ben doesn't die immediately, and neither does Rin. So, I don't know, because she got knifed.
You'd really have to you'd really have to hit a very vital spot with those little...
Well, yeah, like, I thought she would hit her, like, right in the heart, right in the head, but I guess Arissa's like, okay, I forgive you, maybe I'll just hit you in the leg, or the arm.
She's as accurate as, you could be.
Right.
So maybe her intention was to keep her alive.
Sure. Yeah, to me it was just like, she survived again? Ben survived, she survived, but the humans die immediately.
Yeah, Ben was questionable. This one, I'm not so concerned.
Yeah, that's okay. Alright, so, now they escape, they blow that place up, right? And, okay, hold on, what was with that? He was, like, trying to shoot it manually because the button didn't work?
I actually liked it. Yeah, so basically he wasn't going to detonate it because of the fact that, there's a bunch of hellbugs around and they're getting kind of antsy. The fact that he misses twice before he hits it, I don't like how I would have loved it more if he hit it the fourth time. I hate how it's always number three.
It's got to be rules of three.
But the fact that he misses it, 2 times, makes us, aware that Nolan isn't as perfect,
Sure, he's getting a little older.
He's not just getting older, as he isn't as... you don't really expect, the hero to ever make the mistake. And, he makes mistakes. We gotta understand that, he's not necessarily, the best. He's not 100%, all the time going to be, unstoppable. No, he's not. You know what I mean? You know
right.
what I'm trying to aim?
Yeah. So I like that they humanize him in a way that he's not perfect. That's good, because...
Absolutely. There you go.
It's really annoying where... what show is it? Okay, Following, for instance, another really good show, but he always survives and he always shoots somebody. Sometimes you have to fail. It's a better story if someone fails and then succeeds later at the same thing. So yeah, I did like it, but it blew up and it went straight to black, right to commercial, right? Or to the next scene.
I didn't have commercials, so I wouldn't know.
Right. Well, to me, it was like he shot it, and then on the third time it blew up, and then it went black, and then it went to commercial, and then we came back. Which, I wish I didn't watch it with commercials, because it would keep me more focused. But, yeah, so, and then we get the last scene, and we get another, song, and this song I wasn't that happy about.
By the way, I'm going to mention the matriarch.
Okay.
She was spit-on accurate from the game.
Oh, yeah? That's good.
Very accurate.
Yeah, it was cool looking.
Easier to kill in the show, but obviously.
Yeah.
It looked just like it, so very, very cool. Our next scene is in the mayor office where a peace treaty is being made, which then hands over to a plantation room where Tommy is guarding Rin. Why were they in a plantation room?
A plantation room?
Did you notice? Yeah, they're not in the lawkeeper's place unless the lawkeeper's place has a bunch of flowers.
Oh, okay. When you say plantation, I thought you meant like a slave's plantation.
No, like a plantation, like a plant, like a greenhouse looking.
Yeah, a greenhouse area. Plant. I don't know. I have no idea. But go ahead and talk about this scene while I flip through the rest of these pictures.
Sure. These scenes are really short. Not too much going on in them. Tommy is guarding Rin. Arissa and the leader enter. When Arissa looks at the Rupert, they nod. I don't even know why he was in the scene. Kind of. He just leaves, and then Tommy leaves, and then or Arissa and Tommy leave. The leader doesn't leave.
Right.
So, I guess I understand a little bit why that happened. Then the leader says, "Oh, you shot me," and Rin is like, "Oh, well, you survived." Like, well, I taught you better, kind of joking around, and that's where I get the Nolan, Rin, father-daughter kind of, feel, because he also goes on saying, like the gods have chosen, Little Wolf, which is Arissa, that's what they like to call her.
Right.
They have given her the gift, and she's like, how can this be the gods' plan? I'm going to prison. Why? How is that part of the plan? And he's like, I don't know. I don't have the sight, but like I'll really miss you, my beloved daughter. Like, I don't know how he doesn't say it like that, but he does use the word daughter.
Right.
And so that's why I don't think that there was
okay.
like anything going on. I just think he had like it's more like a family thing than relationship thing. Where we then go to the next scene. Oh, and this is where
actually I wanted to actually talk about Rin and Top Hat for a second, because
absolutely.
I wanted to say that I think that Top Hat is going to be a main character, which I'm ecstatic for.
He needs to be.
This is why they did this. Earlier I was saying, why would they shoot him? Why is he here? Why is he not? Why are they giving him so much camera time when he's not the killer? I don't get it. And now I do, because with him saying, I like Little Wolf because you screwed up.
On Arissa.
Yes, and him and Arissa are going to be together. Him and Tommy, or Arissa and Tommy are going to have interactions. I see a lot of good things coming from this, and I'm happy that it ended the way it did. And the way she says,
in the end, it felt like an Arissa episode. I think
it was
we're
an
going to see
Arissa
episodes focused on one particular person or two. Like last week, I kind of felt like it was a Daytak McCallie
right, yeah.
episode, but this episode, I think it really focused on Arissa.
Yes,
and,
and it was needed, because I didn't care for her, and now I kind of do. She's all right.
Though I was actually really hoping that her visions were part of her past, because that's what I wanted to see, was her past. And maybe it was post-traumatic stress where she's now just barely remembering them, still not realizing what they were, but we find out that it wasn't even her memories.
Right.
But yeah, like the relationship between them is going to be huge in the future, I think, because she doesn't really have a connection to her people.
Yeah, but I think it's developing, and we see that in one of the ending scenes, that Kenya and Nolan come out of the back, assuming that they just did it, where a man was murdered less than 24 hours ago. But whatever, that's cool.
Okay.
So. Whatever, Nolan's cool with anything, I guess.
I just think that Nolan needed a supporting character in that scene to, say, oh, don't go see her. You don't hear her say that, but that's
I don't know.
Get from
we
it.
don't know
and
if they did it, but I'm sure they did.
Right, and then we go to see her anyways, or see him go towards her anyways, and that's when Rupert comes and sits next door, and he's
Top
like,
Hat comes in, kind of takes that position.
I should just let her be.
Yeah, it was kind of sad to me.
I kind of feel like I'm being replaced.
Yeah, it was sad. I was like, oh.
We missed the scene where this is the song cues, by the way, in the leader Rupert and Rin scene. Not as powerful, but it was nice. I liked the song. But yeah, it does go to the brothel, and that's where that stuff happens, and then Nolan walks away, all sad. Then we get to Daytak's house in the front. Where Christy and Rafe are walking, and I actually thought that Rafe was going to finally, commit. But, I understand it's baby steps. Like, eventually he'll get there. But he's just, being an escort for her, making sure that she gets safe. And Alec, brings her inside and, waves to him, and he's, not, like, mad or unhappy or, happy, I guess. But,
right.
He's still not thrilled with the idea. But, he's taking baby steps, which is nice, which is leading us more towards the plot between Daytak and, Macaulay's, fortune.
Right.
The mines and stuff.
I'm looking forward to that, and I'm actually looking forward more to Arissa now as well, so.
Right. And we move over to Rin's cell, which was a completely pointless scene. I mean, the only point to it was to show us that she was in a cell.
Right.
Like nothing.
Right.
Nothing happened.
Well, because at the beginning of the episode, you think, oh my god, hellbugs. And then middle, you're like, oh, Rin, she's evil, kill her. And then at the end, you figure out, well, she wasn't that evil. She was just,
right.
killing people because they were scumbags. And she went a little too far with it.
It pans to the last scene where Rissa is having a nightmare of some sort or a vision, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
Where Nolan is there holding her hand. So in the end, yeah, he was there for her, but the fact that, it's still kind of sad because he was there for her when she wasn't aware.
Yeah, it is kind of sad. It reminds me of the only part of the Twilight Saga that I actually like is the dynamic between Bella and her father. That's what it is. It always gets me, that dad stuff where it's always the little girl who is about to leave, and then the dad is like super sad. It always makes me super sad. I was like, oh, that's nice. That's a good ending. I like it. So I actually liked this episode. What would you give the episode out of 10, critically and in entertainment-wise? You go for critically first. Like, critically
I'm going to go critically.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be pretty critical. And this is including entertainment. Like, don't get me wrong, listeners. I really like the show. I'm going to have to give it like a 6.5.
I'm going to go
Only because I know they can do better, but at the same time, I know they have to build some certain things. I don't know.
A lot of times,
there's just some things I want to see that they're not doing yet. And I know you have to be patient and you have to build into it, but I guess this is going to be more of a it takes like 3 episodes to get the plot from one point to the other point.
Yes.
And then we have these little stories in between them.
Yes, that's exactly what it's going to be. And it's kind of a good point because the following was very similar. The first episode was kind of epic. It was crazy. The second episode didn't disappoint, but it was still kind of crazy. And then the third episode dropped off, for me personally. So, to me, it was third episode lulls.
They have to do that, too, and I understand that.
Yeah.
If it's crazy
you can't have crazy every week.
Too much.
Because then the season finale doesn't feel special. Like, Walking Dead does that quite a bit, where there's just one episode where you're
they're
okay.
Great at it. They're great. They are a roller coaster TV show where you're just high at some points, and then, it's like slow, and,
So, yeah, I'm also going to...
drops, and you're just like, whoa...
I'm also going to give it a 6.5. I would have given it a 6, but with Top Hat being a main character coming in, and I'm excited for that. And the real criticisms I have for this episode were that it's just, I don't know, it was too much like CSI to me, where it was like it was just, this episode really doesn't impact anything in any other episode. You could edit this episode out, and really you wouldn't miss a thing. It was basically showcasing... there were small things.
She has the gift is a big one.
Right. There were small things.
They had to introduce what the gift was and how it works.
Right. But, with the more Daytac and Rafe McCauley, the Daytac scene, boosted the score a bit. Maybe it's... And like I said this at the beginning, I said maybe it's me being a little biased. But, the Arathians are my least favorite.
Do you think we're gonna have a sex scene every week?
I don't know.
I think we are. Not that I'm against it or for it. We already talked about that. But I'm just curious.
I don't know. I was shocked that made that on TV. I was nearly disgusted. The only thing this week that disgusted me more was seeing a lady's head get cut off with a knife. I saw that. Okay. That was real. Check your little brother's Facebook.
I'm fine. No thanks.
Trust me, watch it, and you need to tell me if it's fake or not. But that's besides the point. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. What would you give this episode out of 10? Tell us anything you thought about the episode. I'd love to discuss it with you. I've got nothing better to do. I need something to do on the commercials of these shows. Why not respond to you?
Absolutely.
So, and also, if you are watching our YouTube video, please like it. We need it to be up in the ranks, up at the very tippy top, where other people can see it as well. And there you go.
We definitely need more views. We did good on the first week, and I'm really happy that you guys watched the first one. But
tell your
we
friends.
Really need a lot more views.
Tell your family.
A lot more support on Twitter. YouTube. We're doing good.
Tell
on
your kids.
The comments. I appreciate it. There you go.
We're raping everyone out here. Oops.
No. Though I do got to give a shout out because we do have a tweet for the week. It is to Sputnik52157. Thanks for commenting.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
And as of email, I got no email. We do have an email set up. It is TNA Tango.
That confuses him. TNA, just look at the annotation.
TNA, the new age.
Right.
TNA.Defiance, DEFIA, not E, Defiance, at hotmail.com. And that's where you guys can email in. You can always follow us on Twitter. My Twitter is Blitzkrieg Omega. That's without an I in the Krieg. You can follow Derek. He probably won't reply to you, but I definitely will read all your stuff.
I won't on Twitter, but if you comment on the YouTube page, I will.
Yeah, keep commenting. Get your shout out, and we'll try to, and definitely don't just comment about how our performance was, but comment something that you would like to hear. Like, do you guys like the lore? What would you like to hear in the lore? Like what other suggestions you have for the show that we can actually dive into your comments. Like these comments this week, they were pretty good. I really enjoyed reading them, but also comment stuff you would like to hear us talk about as well, or include in the show. Give us some suggestions. Definitely, tell your friends who like Defiance, about the show. And whenever you're just sitting around, or even driving home from, school, like I do all the time, and it takes me about an hour. You can pop in some headphones and just listen to the show and relax. And hopefully we can bring you guys a show that's different than any other Defiant show out there. And so far, I think we are. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of room to improve, but we are learning, and we need help. We need a community. So, help us out.
Yeah, and we will be reviewing other TV shows. This is basically the prototype, and we're using Defiance as a starting process for reviewing things. I love reviewing things. I love listening to podcasts. I thought, I watch TV. Why not? Why not? I've got a YouTube channel. Why not make a YOUCAST? It's based, and actually, I want to also let you know, should I do this again next week? I thought that this was a perfect idea. I'm on the sci-fi page. There were 16 pictures here, and each of them had a snippet of information. It worked wonderfully. I learned things from the episode that were amazing. Even though the pictures were kind of out of order, but other than that, no complaints. I loved it. So it's I think fun. I'll use this again next week. Let me know if you liked this much better than last week's, which I would say last week's was probably not entertaining to watch, but better to listen to.
All right, and as of question of the week, who was your favorite character and why? Go ahead and comment. Go ahead and
favorite
tweet
character
us.
in the series or in the show or in this episode?
The series.
Oh, okay. Daytech.
Who's your favorite comment? Well, we know. You like Daytech. That's great.
I love Daytech.
I still am not, I don't know yet. I don't really have too much of a favorite. I think Tommy's going to be a big character. I think, obviously, Nolan's going to be a favorite. I'm excited to see some of these characters we haven't seen yet. But go ahead and leave comments. Who's your character and why? And if you could, do 2 comments because of that. If you could hang out with that person, what would you do with them? So, Derek, why don't you give him an example? If you could hang out with Daytech for a week, what would you do with him? What would you learn from him?
I would turn Castathan, actually. I would be... No, okay. I would be his servant. I'd be a human servant of his, much like the Bioman.
Oh, goodness.
It would be amazing. I would love to be the person feeding him the grapes in the bath. As long as I got paid well, that'd be awesome. Protection.
Do you realize he would
be
nothing else more than a goldfish?
Well, yeah, but eventually, I feel like Beauty and the Beast. Eventually, I feel like I could get through to him. We'd be good friends. And if Daytech again would treat me like a goldfish, I'd just say, okay, I found better opportunities. I like dirt bikes. I'm going with Top Hat now. I like Top Hat.
Yeah, that's actually who I was either going to choose. I was either going to choose Rupert or Nolan. Only reason I choose Nolan is because I would like to, learn about what he's experienced, the wars and stuff. Then I think I'd end up choosing Rupert only because he's an alien race for one, and I would love to learn, about their and stuff, and he seems like, even though he's like a bandit leader, he's still civil in some ways. Like, you know, he knows how he needs to act in some ways, and he's not dumb. He's a smart guy. And you know, he's really religious, I guess. Obviously, we saw. And I would love to learn, you know, more about their religion and stuff. So that's who I choose. Who would you hang out with and why? Leave it in the YouTube box. Tweet it at Blitzkrieg Omega at Twitter, or email us at tna.defiance@hotmail.com. Thanks for having me part of the show, Derek. I'll let you wrap it up.
Absolutely. This is the most in-depth review on YouTube of this show. So if that's what you like, this is what you got. Feel free to jump around if you don't care for a particular scene. If you are religious and you don't like that creepy, weird scene, go ahead and skip it. Sure, don't care. But do leave a like on that video. That would be a huge help. That's all we really ask. Also, comment, and most likely, this week we had maybe 7 or 8 comments, so we'll read them all, basically. So leave a comment, we'll read it. And well, I am Derek D. Ginger King.
I mean, if we eventually get, you know, a ton.
Right, obviously, but
got the best one.
Right.
Definitely still comment. Don't feel.
I am Derek D. Ginger King, the YouTube champion of reviewing Defiance and Blitzkrieg Omega with no I. That'll be on the annotation. And we are checking out. Thanks for listening, and again, like the video.